Welcome to the Under Construction Podcast with me, Martin Williams. Here we talk about how to build or rebuild your life one step at a time. Let's get to work. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Under Construction Podcast. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You may do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and SoundCloud. All the links to the podcast can be found at guidedexpressions.com/podcast with an S. Today's topic is resisting quick solutions, right? So I want to unpack that a little bit. In no way am I saying that you can't solve problems quickly. In no way am I saying that there aren't instances where, you can, figure something out in the blink of an eye and, and that life can't change in an instant, because it can, right? So I want to start off with that because I think sometimes people don't understand balance, right? They don't understand that, there's times when things are going to take a while, and then there's other times when it doesn't. There's times when, things that you might have thought would take 5 years ended up taking 5 days, right? Or, 5 weeks or whatever, right? So I'm not saying in no way that it can't happen quickly. It can, but I think that sometimes people go into a situation with the idea, I'm going to make it happen quickly. And it ends up taking a really, really long time. So how did I get on this topic, and why am I talking about it today? So I was invited to a call last night, and it was one of those network marketing calls, right? So it wasn't really presented like that. It was just presented as an opportunity, right? So the person who invited me is someone who, does network marketing, and, she likes it, and it's a good fit for her because she's very outgoing, right? And I certainly don't have any issue with network marketing at all. I know that there are people who have been very successful in it. It is, for the most part, a very legitimate business, and I have no issues with the industry or people who like it or do it. More power to you, right? But it's not really a match for me. Okay, so I was on this call last night, and it was about, buying gold and silver, and basically you're paying for a membership to buy gold, because apparently, according to the presenter, you can't buy it directly, which I don't know if that's 100% true. But, I just kind of listened to it for a little bit, and then I had to get off the phone because I had other things to do. But listening to the call, I found myself getting a little annoyed, right? And I got annoyed because I felt like people were being taken advantage of. And that just really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And it's one of my biggest gripes with some network marketing companies, because I feel like they take advantage of people with the allure of a get-rich-quick opportunity. And I know, you live long enough and you realize that very few people get rich quick. And if it's a get-rich-quick opportunity, it's usually the person offering the opportunity that ends up getting rich quick. It's not the person paying for the opportunity, right? Because, you learn that, the laws of wealth are pretty simple. You save, you invest, and then you reinvest, and you do that enough times and you build up wealth, right? It's been done for thousands and thousands of years. And, of course, the issue is that building up wealth takes time. And so if you find yourself in a situation where you need money right away, the thought of having to, invest or reinvest for years isn't that appealing. And you certainly don't get over 100 people on a call like the call last night. Now, this isn't about the people who hosted the call. I'm going to assume that, they are upstanding people and they're not, they're not taking advantage of people and whatnot. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But it wasn't a fit for me. And it really tapped into something that I've seen over and over again, is that people are taken advantage of with the allure of get rich quick, right? And it doesn't always have to do with money. Sometimes it has to do with lose weight fast, right? Or find your soulmate fast. Or, you can quit your job in 30 days, right? It's the same thing no matter what area you want to talk about, right? Get healthy quick, get slim quick, right? Instead of practicing, a handful of habits and basically repeating those habits to get the result that you want. I remember reading a book a long time ago, and I forget the man who wrote it now. I forget who wrote the original book. So basically he was, a health expert, right? I think he was a trainer. The book was written in the early 20th century, so it was, a fairly old book. And he basically said that he put in the book a man who walked 3 to 5 miles every day, every single day, didn't miss a day. And in time, this man lost over 100 pounds. And he said he didn't really change his diet too much or anything like that. He just did this one thing each and every day. And within 6 months, he had lost over 100 pounds, which is a very, very impressive amount of weight. And a lot of people would say, okay, well, that's impressive, but how many books would that sell, right? How many courses could you sell telling people, just walk every day for 6 months and you'll lose whatever weight you need to lose? You probably won't sell a lot of books that way, but it worked for him, and, it seems to work for a lot of people. I remember the guy who used to pitch Subway and now he's in jail for something having to do with children. Jared, right? Jared, he lost, and he was over 400 pounds. And I think he lost almost 200 pounds or something like that. It was a lot of weight. It was over 150 pounds for sure. And he lost that weight basically walking every day, and he would eat 2 Subway sandwiches. Like, that was his diet basically, and a lot of water. But he lost a lot. My point is that the answers are usually not that complex. The answers are simple, right? So let's say you find yourself in debt, right? And it's like, it's a lot of debt. It's not, a couple $100 or even a couple thousand, right? You may find yourself in, 5, maybe even 6 figures of debt. And you're thinking, man, how can I get out of this debt? Well, the answer is to pay the debt off, right? It's not really that complicated. The answer is you have to start paying the debt and not get in any more debt, right? And for most people, they would say, of course, they probably roll their eyes, whatever. But that is the answer, right? Now, are you going to get out of debt tomorrow doing that? No. But if you just kind of take one credit card and decide to pay it off, you're moving out of debt. And then, you find something else that you can pay. And, maybe you cut back your spending, and maybe you find, a side hustle, or you find some things you can sell. And, every month you pay something off. If you do that for 12 months, that's 12 things you paid off, right? And if you look at it from the standpoint of how many creditors do you have, right? You may have, maybe 9 or 10 creditors, right? But if you take the attitude of, I'm going to pay one thing off a month and, I'm going to find ways to increase my income if I have to, maybe sell something or maybe do like a second job or something like that. Or, maybe find a side hustle, maybe, sell an ebook or something. I mean, there's a litany of things you can do, right? But you can, if you just pay one person off a month, that's 12 creditors. So if you only had 10, right, you could probably pay at least 8 or 9 of them off. And then, the rest of the people, you might just be left with big bills, right? So it's like you decide, okay, I'm just going to pay off this one credit card. Then the next month I'm going to pay off this furniture or this computer or whatever it is, right? And you just systematically pay people off. And then you might just be left with a car and your mortgage or, your car or maybe a student loan. And then you just start, okay, instead of looking at that student loan, and that student loan might be huge, might be, 100 to, 200,000 or more, right? You just start chunking it down. Okay, what's the maximum I can pay every month, right? And then you just start doing that. That's how life is. It's a progression, right? You might say, well, $1,000 is a lot. But if it's a student loan, that's like 200 months, right? That's, that's almost, 15 years, something like that, maybe more. Okay. Don't have a calculator in front of me at the time, but you catch my drift, right? That's a lot of time. And that's a reason that a lot of people never get started, because they look at the size of the goal and they never start. Instead of just starting and understanding that you're going to get better at this, right? You might start a business and you might only be making $10, $20 a week or a month, right? But you're going to get better if you keep doing it. If you don't quit, you're going to get better, and you just keep going, right? And, maybe, your best month after a couple months is just a couple $100, but that's fine. You just keep going and you keep learning and you keep improving. And then within a couple years, and maybe not even that long, right? You get to a point where you look up and it's like, man, I made $1,000 this month, right? And all of a sudden, you're looking at that student loan and you're saying, I could probably double up on my payment or even triple up. And then you just, you get to a point where you can knock it out in a relatively short period of time because you kept going, you kept progressing, and you kept improving. And that's really what life is about. There are usually no quick solutions, but if you start, right, and then you keep going, you're going to make progress, and it's the sure way. I'm not talking about something that might work. I'm talking about something that does work if you do it. You don't have to chase after the quick solution in any arena, right? But don't be surprised if it does happen quickly if you do it the right way, right? If you fix something and, you kind of fix it in a way that is not, validated and tested and everything else, you might fix it, but it's going to take a long time. But if you fix it the way that it's designed to be fixed, then it ends up not taking a long time because you did it the way that it was supposed to be done. And that's the way it is with life. If you do it the way it's supposed to be done, it won't take as long as you think. So, that was my 2 cents. Anyone who's in network marketing or whatever, don't get offended. Don't get upset with me or anything like that. That's fine if you want to do that. But for me, there's a sure way And that's the path that I decided to take. So I'm going to leave it off there. And I want to thank you for listening to the Under Construction Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to subscribe to the Under Construction Podcast on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. For more information on Guided Expressions courses and products, go to guidedexpressions.com/products.